Have you ever wondered why you suddenly remember a childhood memory while smelling a specific scent? Or why a catchy song gets stuck in your head for hours? Psychology isn't just something locked away in dusty textbooks. It's a treasure trove of fascinating truths that quietly shape every moment of your life. Whether it's the way you make decisions, the tricks your memory plays on you, or how emotions secretly run the show, human behavior is full of surprises. Beneath our day-to-day actions lie strange and delightful patterns, all rooted in the inner workings of the mind. Today, we're going to dive deep into 9 fun psychology facts you probably wish you'd known sooner. Because once you understand how your brain truly works, you start seeing the world a little differently, and maybe, just maybe, you begin to understand yourself a little better too. Let's start with something that affects your daily energy and mood: multitasking. You might think you're a productivity wizard when juggling 5 tasks at once, but the brain begs to differ. In truth, the human brain is not designed to multitask efficiently. What you're actually doing is called task switching, rapidly shifting focus between activities rather than processing them simultaneously. Every time you switch, your brain needs to reorient itself, burning precious mental energy and slowing you down. This constant switching can reduce productivity by up to 40% and increase errors. Think of your brain like a spotlight. It can only focus on one act on stage at a time. So next time you're texting, eating, and replying to emails all at once, remember, your brain's working overtime just to keep up. The fun part? Your brain still gives you the illusion that you're being productive, which is why we keep doing it. Now here's a fact that might surprise you. Your brain has a negativity bias. This means it pays more attention to negative events than positive ones. If you receive 9 compliments and 1 criticism in a day, chances are you'll dwell on the 1 negative comment. From an evolutionary standpoint, this bias helped our ancestors survive. Noticing threats in the environment, like a lurking predator or poisonous plant, was far more urgent than appreciating a beautiful sunset. But in modern life, this bias can cause stress, anxiety, and a skewed perspective on reality. The good news is, you can train your mind to focus more on the positive through daily gratitude practices and mindfulness. It's like retraining your emotional radar to notice joy as quickly as it notices fear. And once you're aware of this bias, you begin to challenge the negative thoughts rather than just believing them blindly. Speaking of beliefs, did you know your brain often fills in memory gaps with made-up details and you won't even notice? This brings us to the next fun psychology fact. Memory is not a perfect recording of past events. Instead, it's a reconstruction, pieced together like a puzzle every time you recall it. Each time you remember something, the brain rewrites it slightly based on your current emotions, environment, and expectations. Over time, these changes can accumulate, creating completely distorted memories that feel absolutely real. This phenomenon is why eyewitness testimony in court isn't always reliable, and it's also why you and a sibling might remember the same childhood event in entirely different ways. The mind isn't lying to you. It's doing its best to make a cohesive story from scattered fragments. So next time you're sure you remember it clearly, pause and ask yourself, how much of this is memory and how much is imagination? Let's explore the power of body language. Here's something wild. Over 90% of communication is nonverbal. That means the tone of your voice, your facial expressions, your posture, and even your gestures say far more than your actual words. You could say, "I'm fine," 100 times, but if your body language says otherwise, people will believe the unspoken. This explains why someone's energy can feel off even if they're smiling. Our brains are hardwired to pick up on these subtle cues because long before spoken language evolved, humans relied on physical expressions to convey safety, trust, or danger. What's even more fun? You can actually reverse engineer this. By standing tall, smiling, and adopting a confident posture, even when you don't feel confident, you can start to trick your brain into feeling more self-assured. It's called the facial feedback hypothesis. Basically, your face tells your brain how to feel. So the next time you want to lift your mood, try smiling. Not because you're happy, but because you want to be. Now let's talk about music, the emotional time machine. Ever wonder why music can instantly change your mood or take you back to a memory from years ago? That's because music engages nearly every area of the brain. The auditory cortex, limbic system, emotions, motor cortex, movement, and even areas tied to memory. Listening to a favorite song can trigger dopamine release, the same chemical involved in love, reward, and pleasure. In fact, studies have shown that people can experience chills when hearing emotionally powerful music, and these chills are linked to increased activity in the brain's reward system. Interestingly, sad music can also make you feel good. Why? Because it allows you to feel deep emotions in a safe space. It validates your feelings and offers emotional release. Music, in a way, speaks the language of the unconscious. It bypasses logic and speaks directly to your emotional core. Let's dive into color psychology. Colors don't just brighten your room, They influence your behavior and feelings more than you realize. For example, blue is often associated with calm and trust, which is why many social media platforms use it in their branding. Red, on the other hand, increases heart rate and can boost attention, which is why it's used for warnings or clearance sales. Yellow is cheerful but can also cause eye strain, while green promotes balance and is often used in spaces designed for relaxation. Here's the kicker. Even if you don't consciously notice a color's effect, your brain does. That's why interior designers, marketers, and product developers all rely on color theory. Want to feel more productive? Try a room with natural greens. Need to spark creativity? Surround yourself with orange hues. The colors around you aren't just decor. They're psychological cues guiding your feelings and focus. Here's another truth about your mind. It hates unfinished business. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik Effect, the tendency to remember incomplete tasks better than completed ones. That's why you can't stop thinking about that one email you forgot to reply to, or the project that's still sitting on your desk. Your brain keeps these loose ends active in your working memory, almost like it's poking you with reminders until you tie up the loose strings. This phenomenon explains why cliffhangers in TV shows are so effective. They leave you wanting closure, but you can use this to your advantage. If you're procrastinating, just start a task for a few minutes. Once it's begun, the Zeigarnik Effect kicks in and your brain becomes obsessed with finishing it. Motivation, it turns out, often comes after action, not before. Ever get the feeling that people are looking at you or judging you more than they actually are? That's the spotlight effect in action. This psychological quirk causes you to believe that others are paying more attention to you than they truly are. Maybe you spilled coffee on your shirt and walked into a room convinced everyone noticed. In reality, most people are too wrapped up in their own world to focus on you. This effect is rooted in egocentrism, not arrogance, but the natural tendency to view the world from our own perspective. While it might feel like the whole world is watching your every move, the truth is people are usually more concerned with their own appearance, behavior, and thoughts. Once you realize this, it's incredibly freeing. You stop worrying about every mistake and start living more boldly. And here's a mind-bending final fact. Your brain can't tell the difference between imagined experiences and real ones, at least not entirely. This is why visualization is such a powerful tool in sports, therapy, and personal development. When athletes mentally rehearse their routines, their brains activate the same neural pathways as if they were physically performing the task. The same goes for public speaking, exams, or job interviews. Visualization helps prepare your mind and body for success by building confidence and reducing anxiety. Even more fascinating, this psychological principle is why imagining a happy future can make you feel good in the present, and why dwelling on negative scenarios can physically stress you out, even if nothing's actually happening. Your thoughts have real impact on your emotional and physiological state. The mind, in many ways, creates the reality you experience.